Good afternoon and welcome to the Porch broadcast. Well, this kind of fun day. We've been working on a certain gun for probably 6 weeks at least, maybe a little longer, and something that we wanted to show to you guys. But before we get into that, let me ask you guys to do a couple of things. If you enjoy these videos and they work for you, hit subscribe, like, comment, share. And not necessarily every one of those, but any one of them you can hit. It'll help us to promote the channel better and get our information out there to people in a better way. So anyway, if you can guys do that, that'd be nice. But the other thing I wanted to say before we got into the gun itself is I wanted to say that if you guys will hang around to the end of this video, there's a certain thing about this gun that I want to show you guys, and it's very important that you see this and know this if you're considering buying one of these guns, because had I known it up front, it would have certainly helped me make my decision better. Now, I may have still made the same decision, but it'll help you. So hang around to the end and we're going to show you something important about this gun, okay? All right, let's get into it. Okay, you guys seen this gun before. We've done a video on it when we bought it brand new, and we did some shooting, and I was just going to use this gun for a truck gun. And what happened was the trigger was just really bad on this gun. I didn't get to measure it because I had my trigger gauge loaned out at the time, and I'm just guessing, and I looked at what some other people have gauged them at, and I'm going to say this one was probably 8 to 12 pound trigger pull on this thing, which is a lot. And it's not that it's unlivable, but it certainly is frustrating to shoot a gun with a really bad trigger pull. But I want to go over part of what we did to this gun with you guys, and we're going to go over the external part, the furniture, so to speak, first. And then as we move into the video, I'm going to actually show you some video on some of the internal stuff that we tuned up. Now, there were no modifications to this gun. It was just tune-up is all it is. And so we'll go into that. And I think you'll find it interesting. Fact of the matter is, it ended up making a really nice gun when it was said and done, with the exception of one thing, and I'll show it to you, as I said, at the end of the video. So let's just go ahead and get started. Let's go number one, and not necessarily in the order that we did this in, but we did do an extended bolt handle on it. The little knurled one they had on it, though it did the job, boy, it was rough on your fingers. I couldn't get a hold of it good. This one really changed things for us. So we put an extended bolt on it. We put a Picatinny rail on it. This, instead of having the short one, we went ahead and put the 14 and a half inch Picatinny rail on it. Now, these guns come out with a plastic weaver rail on them, and not everything will fit the weaver rail in the line of tactical stuff. And then we turned around and we put these sights on here, and they're fold down sights and makes them really nice. We're using it as a truck gun. You can pop it out and do that. And so that makes it nice. I had this flashlight on another gun that we're changing up and going to use it for a little different purpose. So I robbed this flashlight off that gun and put on this one, so it saved me having to buy a flashlight. Then we turned around and we put this barrel guard on here. Now, that thing really doesn't do much of anything except make it look good, but as old as I am, I still like stuff to look good. So it made it look good. And some people say that you won't burn your hand if you have this on there after you've shot several rounds through it. And I suppose that's probably true. Not that I think I'd reach up there and touch that barrel after shooting several rounds in it, but I have been known to do stuff like that. So anyway, we did all of that. Now I want to show you something else we did. I'm going to take the magazine out of it. This gun has been safety checked, by the way. Now, High Point offers a bump block for the magazines. This is not a high point bump block. I looked at those. They were a little spendy, but that wasn't the thing that turned me off mostly. I didn't like the looks of them. So we were online and we found these bump blocks for less than $4. So I bought 5 of them. I used 2 of them on another project, and I used 3 of them on this gun. But those kind of look good to me, or at least I think they do. You'll have to be the judge of that. But they get it to where when you go to put that magazine in, you got a little bit extended out here, and you can do that and make sure your magazine's seated. Now, another thing we did, and of course bump blocks on these, but we bought 2 extra magazines because the weakness of this gun is being, according to everybody I listen to, and I agree with it, is that it's 10 round magazine, which is not a lot of rounds for a 9mm. So I bought 2 extra magazines, which gives me 30 rounds of ammunition on board. That's probably enough, or at least for me it is. We did put these on there. Where the front one, I haven't got it on there yet, but we're doing a single point sling, and I don't know whether we really want that on there or not when it's all said and done. I'm going to try it, okay? And I'm going to actually do a little training with it to see what I think about that. But anyway, these are the things we've done. Now, we're going to give you a cost breakdown of this whole thing at the end of the video, or somewhere, maybe about midways. I don't know. If we go to editing, we'll figure out where we want to put that cost breakdown at and give you an idea of all of the parts that we put in it and things like that. But, you know, this gun shot good before. Now, sighting it in was a little bit of a problem. We're going to talk about that again at the end of the video. But having said that, as far as function goes, this gun functioned really, really well. Now, I will say this right quick. We were talking about the trigger a while ago. That thing was probably somewhere between 8 and 12 pounds and rough. Oh my gosh, it was just like it had sand in it or something. It was bad. And that's the reason I really tore the gun down, was to clean that trigger up. But now we're down to 5 pounds, and that's about the best I could get out of it. Some of those guys say they're getting 3 out of it. I'm not sure how they're doing that, but I got 5 pounds out of it, and I'll show you some stuff we did internally in the tune-up. It is smooth 5 pounds, and I like 4 pounds is about my what I like most of all on my pistols and my rifles. Now, some rifles I like to get down to about 2 pounds if they're precision, but this is not a precision rifle. But any of my tactical stuff, 4 pounds is where I really like to be. And that seems to work really good for me, and I feel like it's safer than getting down to about 2 pounds. I do have one pistol that's down to 2.5 pounds, and it's about half scary. I'm thinking about changing that and fixing that, but that's that. Okay, guys, enough talking. Let's get doing some shooting. Okay, guys, the shooting part of it was sure fun. I enjoyed that, but let's jump into the tune-up, the internal parts that we did, because this may help you if you ever have to clean one of these guns up a little bit. Okay, let's get at it. Okay, we're polishing the internals on this High Point 995 9mm carbine, and if that camera will focus, this is one of the pieces, the trigger cam piece, or at least one of them, that we've polished, deburred and everything. These things are stamped out, and They're really a little bit on the rough side. Fact is, I feel a little bit of roughness still right there, so we're going to have to do a little more polishing on this one right here. And here's the mating part of that. We haven't polished yet, so you can see the difference in them. And what we're trying to do is get as smooth action on that trigger as we can, because triggers on these high points are really not very good. But at least that's what we're doing. We're going to do this one the same way, polish all the internals. Every place that's rough, we'll deburr and polish. So that's just a part of what's going on right now, and we'll show you guys some more of it as we go. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to polish this sear for the high point. See if that thing will focus. Okay, I think that's pretty good. We're going to be using this fine stone right here, and that should give us a smoother trigger pull. And as you can see, it's just a little bit rough, so we're going to give her a good cleaning up right quick. Now, what we don't want to do is we don't want to change the shape of this sear. We just want to polish it up, clean it up, make it a mirror finish if we can. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull off the camera while I do this, because I need to really pay attention and keep my stone square. So we'll come back and look at it once I get done. Okay, we've got that sear polished. Hope you can see that pretty good. That should make a smoother trigger pull. Okay, let's get this thing in the gun and see what we've got. We also ordered a trigger spring from these folks and put in there, so that helped it. We had a budget of $200 and we spent $208, so we're $8 over budget. Okay, guys, that's pretty much what we did internally on the gun. So let's go ahead and get ready to wrap this video up. I want to say this real quick. This gun is so doggone fun to shoot. I'll tell you what, I love shooting it. And it's not a precision gun, it's a tactical gun, and it does real good as a tactical gun. But I told you guys I was going to show you something at the end of this video that you need to know. Now, some way, and I don't know how it happened, but between the receiver cover and the barrel being put on this gun, they're not lined up very well. And when I first got this gun, it was shooting about 12 to 15 inches too high. And one of the things that I did was I tried a red dot on it, and time I adjusted the red dot out as far as it could go both ways, I was still about 3 inches too high and 2 inches to the left. So I thought, okay, so I got a scope and I put a scope on it, tried it, same thing, adjusted all the way out, you're still 2 to 3 inches high and 2 inches to the left. Put these iron sights on it, adjusted them all the way out, same thing, still off, couldn't get it to zero. So, this is the part I want you to see because you need to know this. Right here, and if you can see this on this Picatinny rail, I put a spacer in here to raise that Picatinny rail up, and that way I didn't have to adjust this sight all the way out. I had adjusted out so far that it was actually loose. It didn't even want to stay very solid. And I didn't like that at all. So I put that little spacer in there, and I was able to adjust this sight post down to about halfway and be able to hit with it. Now, there's a part here that I really don't like, and I'm living with it right now, but I'm not sure I want to. I think I want to fix this, and maybe some of you guys have had this problem, and maybe you've come up with a fix on what I'm about to show you. If you have, comment in the comments and let me know what you did. It helped me out. You know, I've got some ideas, but I'd like to see what you guys have done if you had that problem. Now, let's talk about what the problem really is. I'm going to try to get this up here without knocking my camera down. But you see that back sight? That thing is as far over right there as it can get to the right in order to bring that thing into zero. And it's still not perfectly in zero even with that, but it's close. Close enough I can live with it. As I said, this is not a precision gun. This is a tactical gun. As you've seen outside, I could hit plenty well with it, you know, for what this kind of gun's made for. But if you guys have had this problem and you've got a fix for it, let me know what you did. And if you've got any ideas, let me know what those ideas are. I would like to fix it. I'm going to go ahead and put it in my truck for a truck gun like it is, because it works fine, but I just don't like it being adjusted out as far as it'll go. As I said, the front sight, I've got it in pretty good shape, but this rear one, it's adjusted out as far as it can go, and it's still not perfectly in zero. Okay. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. Again, this gun is, you know, that sight thing, though does bother me some. At the end of the day, I'm going to run this as a truck gun, and I'm going to be happy with it. And I'll feel like I can use it and do whatever I need to do. So I'm not concerned about it, but I would like to fix it. Okay, guys. We here at the Porch love you guys. We do these videos just because we love people and we love giving information out there. And maybe we give something that'll help you guys every once in a while. You guys be safe out there, and may God bless.